Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the core concepts of cybersecurity and digital safety. Look, if you're stepping into higher education or gearing up for the modern workforce, knowing how to navigate our digital environment is absolutely critical. It's a real game changer. So we're going to build a really strong technical foundation for your daily tech habits, and we're shifting away from just casual computer use into professional, systems-focused thinking.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit security and safety fundamentals, identifying digital assets, threats, vulnerabilities, and risk, responsibility in connected systems, and finally, we'll wrap up with a case study on password reuse. Let's jump right into Section 1, Security and Safety Fundamentals. So let's untangle two foundational terms that get mixed up all the time, but they actually serve very different purposes in the IT world. Grasping this difference is basically step one in digital literacy. Okay. Computer security is all about locking down the machine. It's the technical practice of protecting devices, networks, and data from unauthorized access or damage. Think strong passwords, running those software updates, securing your files. Now, digital safety, on the other hand, is a bit broader. It's about protecting you, the human behind the screen. It focuses on your identity, your privacy, and your overall well-being. So avoiding scams, or just understanding how your online behavior impacts your reputation. Simply put, if you protect a laptop with a password, that's security. If you avoid entering your personal info on a shady website, that's safety.
And why does this matter? Well, because security isn't just the IT department's problem anymore. It matters to literally anyone using a laptop, tablet, or email. In a professional or academic setting, a single compromised email account can trigger a devastating chain reaction. We're talking about unlocking school portals, financial accounts, sensitive business operations, the whole shebang. And on a personal level, a careless post or oversharing can permanently damage your personal reputation and emotional well-being long after it's shared. You really have to treat security and safety as just a normal, everyday part of using technology.
Moving on to Section 2, Identifying Digital Assets.
So, when we're inventorying what actually needs protection, we look at a few different categories. First up, physical devices, like laptops and smartphones. The risk here is pretty obvious, right? Theft, damage, or unauthorized access. Then we have accounts, your email, school logins, banking. If an account is compromised, especially if you kind of reuse passwords, it creates a massive vulnerability for fraud. We've also got data and files, which face risks like ransomware or accidental deletion. And please, don't overlook personal information and reputation. Your social security number, your birth date, even your online posts, those are all vital assets. Understanding that an email account is an asset that can basically unlock dozens of other accounts, that is exactly why IT professionals protect them with multi-factor authentication.
All right, Section 3, Threats, Vulnerabilities, and Risk.
So how do breaches actually happen in the real world? Well, it always starts with a threat. A threat is the active danger. It's anything that can cause harm to a device, an account, a system, a person, or data. Now, this could be malicious, like malware, a phishing message, or an active attacker, but threats can also be completely accidental, like a technical failure or just a stolen device.
But here's the thing. A threat usually needs a vulnerability to actually breach a system. A vulnerability is simply a weakness that makes harm more likely to occur. It creates an opening for that threat. Think of it like leaving the front door unlocked. Examples would be a reused password, skipping an app update, or leaving your phone unlocked. On their own, vulnerabilities might not cause damage right away, but they absolutely roll out the red carpet for threats.
And when a threat finally meets a vulnerability, that is where you get risk. In the IT world, we define risk as the chance that a threat will successfully take advantage of a vulnerability to cause harm. We calculate it by weighing two crucial things: likelihood plus impact. How probable is it to happen, and how bad would the damage be?
What's really fascinating here is that risk isn't static. It changes based on context. The exact same action can shift from perfectly safe to highly dangerous simply by changing the environment. For example, using public Wi-Fi to read a news article, very low risk. But using that exact same public Wi-Fi to sign into your bank account, extremely high risk. Leaving your laptop open in your locked apartment is totally fine, but leaving it unattended on a crowded library table, that's a massive risk. Even sharing information scales like this. Sharing just your first name is low risk, but sharing your full name, address, and daily schedule is a totally different ballgame.
I want you to take a moment and just consider this core question. Why might the exact same action be low risk in one situation, but incredibly high risk in another?
Ultimately, it all comes down to evaluating what information is involved, who could access it, and what harm could happen if something went wrong in that specific context. You know, security decisions are really about reducing risk, not eliminating it completely. Because, let's face it, no system is absolutely perfect. But by adopting this checklist of proactive, safer habits, you can massively reduce your vulnerabilities. We're talking about consistently updating devices and apps, using strong, unique passwords, enabling multi-factor authentication, backing up critical files, verifying links before you click, limiting the sharing of personal information, and reporting suspicious activity immediately. These aren't elite hacking skills. They are just fundamental, professional technology habits.
Let's dive into Section 4, Responsibility in Connected Systems.
In a highly connected environment, convenience is not always the safest choice. In a school or office, your personal digital hygiene directly impacts the safety of everyone else. Because in the modern workforce, you aren't computing in a vacuum. Digital environments connect people, shared data, and institutional hardware. If you choose convenience over safety, like, say, an unsafe download because it's fast, a single employee or a student's compromised account can actually expose the entire network.
And this leads us to a really crucial piece of workforce readiness: knowing exactly when to ask for help. Security problems escalate rapidly when users try to hide their mistakes out of embarrassment. Owning up to a mistake, like reporting a clicked phishing link early, is a responsible professional action. It is absolutely not a sign of failure.
And finally, Section 5, Case Study on Password Reuse.
Let's ground all this theory by looking at a real-world chain reaction of risk. On day 1, we have a student named Marcus. He uses a single, easy-to-remember password across his school, email, streaming, and banking accounts. Well, by day 30, the streaming service suffers a massive data breach, exposing Marcus's reused password. Marcus probably isn't too worried because it's just a streaming site. But by day 32, attackers test that exposed password on other platforms and attempt unauthorized access to Marcus's primary email from an unfamiliar location. Because of one single vulnerability, password reuse, his entire academic and financial life is suddenly in jeopardy.
To recover from this, Marcus has to execute a professional IT mitigation workflow. Step 1, he must immediately change the exposed passwords across all affected platforms. Step 2, he creates a strong, completely unique password for every single important account. Step 3, he enables multi-factor authentication, or MFA, on his email, banking, and school portals. And finally, Step 4, he implements a password manager to securely store his credentials without needing to memorize all of them. By doing this, he systematically shuts down the attacker's access.
So, the ultimate takeaway from this explainer is actually pretty empowering. Strong security does not depend only on advanced technical knowledge. You just need consistent, professional daily habits. Everyday things like locking screens, checking links, and using unique passwords build the absolute foundation of a safe digital life. Before you jump into your full technical reading on this subject, I want you to ask yourself a question. Are your everyday digital habits building a secure foundation for your professional future, or are you just one reused password away from a chain reaction? Take these foundational concepts into your studies and your career, because understanding digital risk is literally one of the most powerful professional skills you can build right now. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.